Hey everybody, do you know what I think about when I think of zombies? That's right, Jane Austen. Hot. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is written and directed by Burr Steers. Who's that? Well, he's known for directing 17 Again and Charlie St. Cloud. Yeah. Pride and Prejudice was very interesting to me. Going in, I didn't have much expectation. I had seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I tried to give it a chance a number of times, and the film just didn't win over for me. And it didn't win over for audiences either. And I think that that movie is affecting this one. That people are just kind of, they didn't like the other one, so they're like, they did another one of these because it is by the same author. What was interesting about this movie, for me personally, if you are a fan of the Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice story, if you've seen the films, a fan of any of the films or the story or anything, I happen to know the story. I like the Keira Knightley film. I've not seen other versions, sadly to say. Knowing that story going into this, I found it enjoyable. I'm also a Walking Dead fan, I like horror movies, I like zombies, so cool. And corsets, and swords, and zombies, and blood, I mean, yeah, this is cool. This is going to attract a certain kind of audience. This is going to attract a particular crowd because you have to understand what they're doing here. They're not trying to be serious. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's very satire. It's not really taken seriously. And I think a lot of people, they watch it, they see the preview or the trailer and they hear about the film and they go, are they serious? The whole Jane Austen story is there. It's not told as effectively as Jane Austen tells it, but it was clever. It was clever in a funny way because you see familiar dialogue from the films or the novel, but it's going on during a sword fight, or it's going on during a death scene, or something, or a war scene, or something crazy, and they just turn things on its ear, and it's a different way of looking at it, and it kind of changes the dynamic of the relationship. The story of Pride and Prejudice is Elizabeth Bennet and all her sisters, the Bennet family, her father and mother, are not as wealthy, and they are trying to pawn off their daughters to these rich men, and this Mr. Darcy that Elizabeth meets, she just despises, and they despise each other, and it's about them getting to know one another by happenstance. And there's a lot of pride and prejudice, and there are zombies, as one would expect. So I was surprised. I actually really enjoyed this. I wasn't sitting there going, my, you know that Pride and Prejudice and zombies. That's a piece of cinematic art. Fans of Game of Thrones are going to be surprised to see Charles Dance in there and Lena Headey. They are good in the film. And Doctor Who fans are going to really enjoy seeing the Good Doctor and Matt Smith. That's why I think it's going to attract a certain audience. Game of Thrones audiences would enjoy this, as the ones who also like Doctor Who. That's a special kind of person right there, okay? This is your movie. They made this for you, okay? It's not for everybody, so don't everybody take it seriously. Take it for what you want. But I'm going to say, for the time that I had and for the effectiveness of a movie, it's not perfect, but I'm going to give this movie a B+. If you're watching it with the right sensibility, it's actually funny. It's a comedy to laugh at this because this is a romantic scene with blood and guts and swords and corsets. It's funny, people. Whatever. But I enjoyed it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Down below this video, just hit subscribe. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. As always, these are just my opinions. They're not written in stone, because what do I know?